Hi everyone and welcome to our first activity this week. As you know, this week we're learning about Zog, which is a story about the keenest dragon in Dragon School and all his adventures as he tries to earn himself a golden star. Now our focus for today is all about adjectives. Now we've done a lot of work on adjectives when we did Room on the Broom and the smartest giant in town, but it's always good to remind ourselves about what an adjective is. So pause the video and tell your screen now what you think an adjective is. Super work. So adjectives are words we can use to describe what something is like, and they help us to add detail to our sentences and make them the best that they can be. When we use adjectives, we like to think about what something might look like, what something sounds like, or feels like, tastes like, or even smells like, and they help our reader to imagine in their mind what a character or object is like. For example, I might say, Miss Fry has curly hair. Can you spot the adjective in that sentence? Tell the screen now. Which word is the adjective? Miss Fry has curly hair. If you said curly, give yourselves a pat on the back. By adding curly to my sentence, I added more detail and helped my reader to imagine what my hair looks like. In today's lesson, we're going to think about our main character Zog and brainstorm some adjectives to describe his main features. So, using our looking lens, look at Zog. What are some of his main features that you notice? One thing that I noticed was his feet. Now, I don't just want to say Zog has feet, do I? I want to add a bit more detail. So, I could say Zog has sharp claws. Can you spot the adjective there? Well done. The adjective there is sharp. Sharp is telling me what Zog's claws feel like, and so it's our adjective. I could also say that Zog has scratchy talons. I've used the adjective scratchy to describe what his claws feel like. I also decided to call his claws and feet talons to make the word a little bit more exciting. Right, let's think of one more. So I'm still looking at the feature of Zog's feet. I think I will add an adjective to describe what I think the skin on his feet feels like. I think it looks bumpy. So I'm going to use the adjective bumpy. Zog has bumpy feet. Can you think of any more? Have a go on your worksheet at using an adjective to describe Zog's feet. Right, let's look at another feature of Zog. Let's look at his horns. Have a think. Can you come up with any adjective to describe his horns? Let's see. I think I'm going to use the adjective white. Zog has white horns. I'm describing what his horns look like by describing the colour of them. I could also say that they are thick horns. Can you spot the adjective there? What's my adjective? Well done if you said thick, because thick is describing and adding a bit more detail about what Zog's horns are like. I could also say smooth horns because I'm using the adjective smooth to describe what they might feel like. Have a go at coming up with some more adjectives to describe Zog's horns. You could use one of mine, but try and think of some of your own. Let's do one more together and then it's your turn to look at Zog's features. Let's look at his back. Now, I could describe Zog's back by using the adjective bumpy, because that adds some detail about what Zog's back feels like. It feels bumpy. I could also say he has rough bumps. What word there is the adjective? Rough bumps. Tell your screen, what's the adjective? Well done if you said rough, because that's describing what Zog's bumps feel like. It's adding some more detail, isn't it? Pause the video now and have a go at the rest of Zog's features. Then come back and we're going to have a go at writing some sentences together. Right, the most important thing before we start writing our sentence is to practice saying it out loud first. The first sentence I want to write is about Zog's claws. Now remember, we've come up with lots of adjectives, so I can't forget to include those in my sentence. I think I'm going to write Zog has sharp claws. Now I'm going to count my sentence to see how many words I've got to write. Can you count with me? Zog has sharp claws. How many words are in my sentence? Zog has sharp claws. There are 4 words in my sentence. I've got to make sure that when I write my sentence, I write all 4 words. So, Zog has sharp claws. What's my first word that I've got to write? Zog has sharp claws. What's my first word in my sentence? Zog has sharp claws. Well done, it's Zog. Zog is the first word that I need to write. Now, can you help me sound it out? So get your sounding out hands ready. We're going to go Z, O, G, Zog. Zog. Thank you for helping me sound it out, and now I'm going to write it down. So, Zog has sharp claws. We've written Zog, so what's my next word? Zog has sharp claws. Zog has. Well done. Has. So let's write that down as well. So far we've written Zog has. We've got 2 more words to write. Zog has sharp. That was our next word, wasn't it? So let's sound that one out together. Sh, a, p. Sharp. Thank you for helping me. So I'm going to write that down. Sharp. So Zog has sharp. We've written 3 words. We've just got 1 more to write. Zog has sharp claws. So again, I'm going to sound it out before I write it down. So let's sound it out together. K, u, o, s. Claws. Well done. So let's write that one down too. Now for the most important part. I've written my first sentence, but now I need to read it back to check it makes sense. Now remember, my sentence had to have 4 words in it, didn't it? So let's go back and count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We remembered all 4 words in our sentence. Give ourselves a pat on the back for remembering. Now I can have a look at my always checklist and see, did I remember capital letters? Did I do a full stop at the end? Have I left spaces between my words? Is it my neatest writing? Are my letters on the line? And did I use my phonics? I think we did all of those, didn't we? So now we can move on to our next sentence. Now for my next sentence, I want to try and challenge myself a bit. So I'm going to try and use and in my sentence to connect 2 ideas together. So I would like to talk about Zog's skin now. I want to talk about his skin. So I'm going to have a look at the adjectives I came up with. 2 of the adjectives I came up with were orange, because I'm describing the colour of his skin, and bumpy, because I'm describing what his skin might feel like. So orange and bumpy, they're my 2 adjectives. So I want to use these 2 adjectives in my sentence. So I'm going to say my sentence out loud. I want to say, his skin is orange and bumpy. That's my sentence. I've used 2 adjectives and I've used the word and to connect them together. So just like we did before, we're going to count how many words are in my sentence. His skin is orange and bumpy. How many words are in my sentence? We've got 6 words in our sentence this time. That's a bit of a longer one, isn't it? So let's give it a go. What was our first word? His skin is orange and bumpy. What's my first word? His. Well done. So I'm going to write his. That's my first word. His skin. That was my next word. His skin is my next word. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to sound it out. Skin. And I'm going to write that down. Well done. His skin is. Let's write is. His skin is. So his skin is. What was that first adjective we used to describe what his skin was like? We said orange, didn't we? So I'm going to write orange down. Now, orange is a bit of a funny word to spell. Okay, so you can always look at my spelling on the board to help you. So orange, his skin is orange and. That was our word we challenged ourselves to use, isn't it, to connect our two ideas? And. So his skin is orange and. So I'm going to write and down, and that's one of our tricky words, isn't it? So I'm going to pop that one in my sentence. His skin is orange and. What was our last word in our sentence? Bumpy. Bumpy, that was our last adjective that we used, wasn't it? So his skin is orange and bumpy. So let's sound out bumpy. B-a-m-p-e, bumpy. Now we put a y at the end of our word to make that E sound, don't we? So we put our y and it sometimes makes the E sound when we put it at the end of our word. Okay, so I've written 2 super sentences and I've used my always checklist to make sure that they're the best that they can be. Now it's your turn. Have a go. Look at your adjectives that you came up with and see if you can write some super sentences about Zog, making sure to describe and add detail with your super adjectives. Well done, everyone. I can't wait to see the work that you do. Bye.